Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Hi, guys.
Hi, Jenny.
How you doing, Kip?
Yeah, well, I was a little disappointed in Hard Knocks last night.
Why are you disappointed?
Raiders couldn't quite live up to the Browns of last year, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you know what I was thinking?
What were you thinking?
Next year, Hard Knocks should do behind the scenes at Undisputed. Then we could see what old Shay Sharpe is really like behind the scenes.
They don't need to see all that.
Yeah, if you think Aaron Rodgers is a diva, woohoo!
They don't need to see
Love
all that.
to see that.
They don't need to see all that.
Yep.
Would you be up for that?
Yeah,
Behind
I'm
the
open.
scenes?
I'm an
Let's
open
do
book
it.
over here.
Old nautical Nancy won't everybody
really?
see what's
Nautical
going on.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Really?
Hey, you know what? I got a suit just like that one.
Do you? I'm going to burn this one.
Whatever. You go.
Boy.
After the show.
Jeez.
That's a new one, too, huh? Okay. Is that a new one?
Somebody is obsessed with
Is that a new suit?
apparel. I've worn it once on the air, and you didn't notice.
3 years ago.
Okay.
That's how you got it like that.
Fired
Huh?
from Shannon already. We got a lot to get to on today's show. Why is Tom Brady leaving Boston? And why is LeBron going after the NCAA? But we are going to start with Skip's Cowboys. There is still plenty of contract drama surrounding the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott is still holding out, but some in the media don't think it's that big of a deal. ESPN's Bill Barnwell says he thinks Zeke's impact on the offense is overstated, citing C.J. Anderson replacing Todd Gurley last season as an example, while ESPN's Todd Archer said Amari Cooper is more important to Dak Prescott than Zeke because the, quote, Cowboys control the tempo with the running game, but points come in the passing game. So, Shannon, is there any truth to this?
Absolutely none.
None.
Absolutely not,
Shannon Sharpe.
Because I believe Zeke opens everything up, Skip. He's the drink. Now, if you want to say Dak is what stirs it, okay, fine, have at it. But he's the actual drink itself. You see, Skip, the problem that I have is that how you take one isolated situation. You told, C.J. Anderson. Okay, C.J. had a couple of good games. But the difference is, it's kind of like
he had 3 good games. Be careful because you left off the game.
No, Skip.
Right?
I was in a very similar situation.
Yeah.
Because when we were the Broncos, come in after TD got hurt, and you had Mike Anderson go for $1,500. You had Clinton Porter go for $1,500.
Okay, but those are quality backs behind a really good offensive line and a great system.
But they couldn't run us to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
There, that's the difference. That guy can run you to the Super Bowl. Mike Pollard and whomever they drafted, Skip, and Tony Pollard.
Yeah,
Excuse me. And they got the guy Alfred Morris. They signed him from well, he was a free agent. He was there a couple of years ago, and so when Zeke was suspended, he filled in quite nicely. But Skip, he's not Zeke. Zeke commands. You go into a game, Skip. I'm almost 100% for certain that when defenses face the Dallas Cowboys, the defensive coordinator goes up there on a Wednesday and he says, guys, we're taking Zeke Elliott out of the ball game. That's their great game plan. And that's a lot easier said than done because Zeke, because they have 3 first-round offensive linemen. They have a dominant offensive line. Their intent is to run the football. And then everything after that comes off the run. They play action. They can run the zone read. They can boot. They can do all of those things, Skip. And I'm not trying to minimize Dak. I'm not trying to minimize Amari. But if you think for 1 second that Zeke Elliott is not the engine that runs this Cowboys offense, you're sadly mistaken. And everything they've done is they built it around him. So now you're trying to devalue him because you don't want to pay him the money that he deserves. And he knows it, Skip. He's in the worst situation because Dak, Skip, is in the last year of his deal. Amari is on his option year, but he's making $14 million.
Yep.
Zeke knows now this is as good a chance, or this is his best chance, in order for him to get the contract extension that he feels he deserves, because he knows he has an option year next year, and if the Cowboys, if they so choose, 2, not 1, but 2 franchise tags. Skip, points do come out of the passing game, but if you cannot control the football, it doesn't do you any good. Ezekiel Elliott is number 1. Amari Cooper is number 2. Dak Prescott's number 3.
Shannon Sharpe.
Yes, sir.
You are living in the past, in your Denver past, back in the days when you could run your way to a Super Bowl championship. That was 1998.
7 and 8.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, 7 and 8. Last time was 1998. And then rules started changing and game really changed because it became more and more of a passing league because it's like chicks dig the long ball in baseball. They dig the long pass in football, right?
Pass, huh?
Okay. So I'm going to say this one more time and to answer your question. There is nothing but truth in what both Bill Barnwell and Todd Archer wrote on ESPN.com about Amari being more valuable to Dak than Zeke is valuable to Dak. I'm going to state my opinion one more time. I still believe Ezekiel Elliott is the best back in football. You and I have argued about that, and I've always been pro-Zeke.
True.
The problem is he doesn't play quarterback. And in this day and age, the quarterback is more valuable, especially when the quarterback is the most underrated clutch closer in football. And I'm going to detail that in just a moment. But he's obviously the leader of this football team. I think Dak Prescott is turning into one of the best leaders in all of football. And in the end, we have to start with the premise that you tried to defeat, which is the Rams gave Todd Gurley way too much money. They dramatically overpaid, and the Cowboys are now having to pay for that because Todd Gurley got, as you know, 4 years, $57.5 million. 45 of that is guaranteed, and 14.4 is the average per year. That is too much, overvaluing a running back position that most people devalue.
Okay.
So the classic happened. C.J. Anderson, I love C.J. We had him on the show. Good guy. Once a Denver Bronco. He's had a history of running over my Dallas Cowboys. But he tried to run over the Cowboys in the opener for the Carolina Panthers, and he went 7 carries for 35 yards. Not bad, but not great.
Right.
And Carolina was not impressed, and he lasted 9 games for Carolina, and they cut him.
Yes.
And then he sat for a while, and finally, the Oakland Raiders, we saw last night on Hard Knocks, they said, we'll take a shot. And I don't know what didn't happen, but he lasted 6 days, and they cut him. And he went back on his couch for a whole nother week until we get to December 18th, and the Rams, desperate because Todd Gurley, to whom they had given a fortune, started to have creaky knees. I'm not sure how bad they were, if it's arthritic or if he actually tore something. He had a little meniscus tear. I don't know. But he didn't look like himself to the point they needed insurance. So they go pluck a running back off the couch. And let me ask you a question. Could you do that with a quarterback? Could you go get a quarterback on the couch, some backup quarterback, some failed quarterback, and plug him in and have him light it up? It just can't happen. The position's too hard to play.
But Skip, we say this all the time, that the running back is the easiest position to transfer.
Thank you.
Okay. So that doesn't...
I'm not saying they're a dime a dozen, but again, quarterbacks are definitely not a dime a dozen. Sometimes you could plug in a running back, and so they go to Arizona and plug him in. He goes for 167 yards.
Arizona's terrible. You're right, quarterbacks are not a dime a dozen because you don't even have one in that dozen. You don't even have a dozen quarterback.
You're going to eat these.
You don't have a dozen
I'm going to make you eat them right now because then we know what happens the next week. The 49ers, they're not very good either, but he goes for 132. But my Dallas Cowboys had just shut down the #1 running attack in pro football in the first playoff game they played, Seattle's. And what happened? CJ'd all over them, right? He ran them off the field. Jenny went to the game, but I'm going to let her off the hook for that.
I'm never going to get over that. Boy.
Okay, but he went for 123 against my Cowboys.
What did Todd Gurley go for?
He got a few, but 78 were from CJ in the first half, and that was a problem because that dug a hole too deep for Dak Prescott. Okay, so now let's go back to what happened when Amari came, because what were the Cowboys? I'm not going to count the first game that Amari played because it was Tennessee, and he hadn't even practiced with the team. He just got thrown into the game. So give me a break on that one. I'm going to X that one out because that was a debacle.
No breaks.
That night, my team fell to 3-5. Help me out. Was Ezekiel Elliott healthy and happy for the first 8 games of the year?
Yes.
They fell to 3-5 with Zeke.
Well, who was the quarterback?
Why was that? Who were the receivers? Help me out. Who got the most targets in the first 5 games? Interesting. Would you believe Ezekiel Elliott was the #1 target? He and Cole Beasley alternated for the most targets in those first games. So what does that tell you? He did not have a #1 receiver. No quarterback can flourish without a #1 except for Tom Brady. I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. But what happened when Tom Brady got Randy Moss for 2007? Records happened. Am I right about that?
True.
So this was his Randy Moss. And I'm not saying Amari's Randy Moss.
And are you saying he's not Tom Brady?
Okay, he is not. But he is definitely Brady-esque.
No,
because
he's not.
all the big games, all the key victories last year came because Dak Prescott took over fourth quarter after fourth quarter. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 games where he took over fourth quarters. It's why he has led the NFL in game-winning drives over the last 3 years. He did it.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at your sheet over there. It says in the first 3 quarters, he did diddly poo, squat, nothing.
You know, who won the game? This sounds Brady-esque to me.
I'm just saying.
Does this not sound Brady-esque? Does this not sound Super Bowl-esque?
Skip. You don't get to Skip. You don't get to lock me out of the house.
I'm still
and then
talking.
Call,
I'm still talking. It's my turn to talk because my team down the stretch went 7-1, and my quarterback didn't turn into just a pretty good quarterback. He turned into a top 5 quarterback, and the statistics scream top 5. He was 4th in yards in the NFL over the last 8 games. He was 3rd in completions. Is that good? That's pretty great. And he was 5th in distance. It's called air distance. It's length of pass. So you keep saying Dink and Dak, right? But he was 5th in the league in how far the passes traveled. What does that tell you? It tells you he was a top 5 quarterback. So let's go look back at what started happening from the start. The opener at Carolina. The leading target receiver was Cole Beasley. He is no longer a Dallas Cowboy because they found him expendable. They just said, if Buffalo wants to pay him that much, just let him go. We'll add Randall Cobb, and we will upgrade at that position. He was your #1 receiver, and guess who was 2nd in targets in the opener? Deontay Thompson, wherever he's with the Jets now. They cut him after 9 games last year because he just couldn't carry that load. He's not a #2 receiver.
You had him hyped up, though.
Okay, well, it's all I had. They tried to do it by committee, and it did not work. And then what happened at Seattle? They tried to feature Zeke at Seattle. He drops a huge early 3rd down pass that he could still be running with, and then he fumbled late and killed their rally. There were 2 Dak interceptions in that game, both of them tipped by where Cowboys got their hands on the football and it tipped up in the air. And guess who was Johnny on the spot? Earl Thomas was right there to get the little deflection, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they had a chance to win that game, but Zeke didn't come up big in that game. Detroit, what was the key play late? It was a long pass, 34 yards from Dak to Zeke. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Zeke became their leading receiver because they didn't have one. What team can go to the Super Bowl with their back as the leading receiver?
You're making my point.
No, you're making mine. It's over, Shannon. That's all he had. He has to throw to his running back in a clutch situation with the game on the line. Why don't you run a wheel route and I'm going to hit you for 34. So wow.
Now you're making my point. Because not only can Zeke run you to the championship, now he's catching the ball.
You're going nowhere fast when your running back is your #1 receiver. Sorry.
But you keep telling me how Amari Cooper, how Dak picked up once Amari got there. But who led the league in rushing the last 8 games of the season? Can you tell me who that is?
Okay, but you don't think Dak was just lighting it up with his arm? That's why they won the games. It's a passing league.
That's my point, Skip. No, my point is the big plays come out of play action because now what can you do?
Big plays come from the #1 who can't be covered by 2 people. That's what happens.
You know why? Because the safety is down in the box and you're getting single high safety. That's how it gets done. Skip, let me ask you a question. If I gave you a choice of Amari Cooper and the top 8 receivers, who you taking?
Say that again.
If I give you the top 8 receivers, if I give you Julio, A.B., D-Hop.
Okay, it's all about connection with quarterback. It's all about wavelength. That's why I keep telling you, Julian Edelman is a top 5 receiver because of his connection with his quarterback. Amari is a top 5 receiver to me because of his connection with Dak Prescott.
Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip, if I were to agree with you, which I don't, why in the hell haven't the Cowboys given Dak that contract that if he's the guy, if he's everything that you said he is, why haven't they given him the money?
They will. Just wait and watch. This is called negotiation. They have an embarrassment of riches. They have all three superstars, and right behind them, a couple of more potential superstars, coming of age and of contract. Want to bet they get them done? Want to bet?
No, Skip.
We haven't even played one preseason game yet.
You don't need
this. Takes time.
If he's the
it's
guy,
patience.
Skip, if he's the guy, what are we waiting on? What do you need to see? Jerry Jones, Skip, Jerry has said that Dak is a franchise quarterback.
I'm still talking here.
Can I, Skip, give me a chance. Skip, you going to give me a chance to refute anything, or you just going to keep stalling?
Do I refute you in your opening soliloquy that goes on for 8 minutes? You say you're still talking.
Skip.
I thought it was my turn.
It was your turn, but you made 7 points. Can I get an opportunity to make 1 point?
I'm beating you over the head with these points.
Go ahead.
Here's the next one.
Okay.
So remember the game they lost early at Houston? It went back and forth. It was a defensive struggle. It went to overtime. It's Dak versus, we're going back and forth with Deshaun. They're trading passes and they can't break the game open.
Okay.
Guess who the leading target receiver was in that game? Zeke. He had the most targets of any Cowboy receiver. They don't have a number one. Then they crushed Jacksonville 40-7. But what happened?
Without a number one?
Zeke ran for 106 yards. Guess what my quarterback had to run for? 82 yards in that game. What do I tell you about my quarterback? My quarterback can kill you with his legs if you give him a chance.
But hold up.
Kellen Moore this year will give him much more of a chance.
Are they running the option or are they throwing the football? You told me that you and Todd Archer and everybody else keep telling me points come out of the passing game. Why are you running the quarterback then? Is he throwing the ball while he's running?
Then they lost a game at Washington because the kicker clanked one off the upright after a bogus penalty got called on the long snapper. Was Dak Prescott not a warrior in the fourth quarter? Do you remember what he did?
Who threw that pick six? I don't want to know who
threw the pick six. He threw for 120 yards in the fourth quarter, did my quarterback. And guess in that game who had the second most targets? Ezekiel Elliott. And then, thank you, Jerry. Here came Amari. And life changed in Dallas because you can't win. You fell to 3-5 because your number 21, your running back, became your number one receiver. Won't work, Shannon. Won't work. Not that valuable. Can't do it.
Okay, if that's if everything you say is true, is that Zeke can't carry you, can't run you to a championship, and Dak and Amari is the guy, why haven't they paid him?
They will. It's just business. It takes time.
Aaron Rodgers didn't wait. Aaron Rodgers got 2 years late.
Do you realize the Cowboys are going to have to play 4 exhibition games before the first real game? You know, we got miles and miles to go. It's why Jason Garrett said yesterday, we're a long way off. Well, he means that literally and figuratively because literally they're a long ways off. It will get done. This is what Jerry does best. This is his Super Bowl, and he will win his version of the Super Bowl contractually. Just watch.
All I'm saying.
You're okay.
All I'm saying.
You're just going to, it's going to hurt so much. You're going to hear the news, they signed another one. And they signed another one.
Skip, I'm not doubting whether or not. But my thing is that you think you're going to get them for the Dollar Tree price, and you're not. You're going to have to pay these guys top 3, not top 5, top 3 money.
You realize they have enough cap to do just that?
Okay, well then why don't they go ahead and do it?
Because they're not fools. They're not idiots. They're negotiators. They didn't just fall off the turnip truck coming in from Little Rock.
And guess what?
That's what happens.
You're making my point.
They're so good at this.
And you know
they
what?
will get it right.
Neither is Amari's agent.
But they have to be the most careful with the running back because the running back can only take you so far in this day and age. And they will pay the most money by far to number 4. By far. Yes.
Skip. He's the quarterback. You know, no matter how great a running back is, he's not going to make more than he's not going to make more than the marginal quarterback. The running back won't. Skip. You know that. So don't base it because Dak's going to get $30 million and Zeke's only going to get 15 or 16. That shows the value. You know how this works.
I dare any Cowboy hater out there to put the pencil to all the games played last year and tell me I'm wrong about this. The most underrated, underhyped, underappreciated quarterback has become Dak Prescott. You have little to no use for him. Most people who come on this show don't get him. But if you put the pencil to it and study it, I see 6 games he pulled off fourth quarter comebacks that were Brady-esque, and I do not throw that term around very loosely. And I'm talking about Detroit at home, At Washington, the kicker missed, he clanked it off the upright after a bogus call that set him back 5 yards, or they would have won that game to me. Then look at Philly. When the season got turned around, he goes 88 yards in the fourth quarter. He led them he threw the big strike to Allen Hurns on a 3rd and 5 at the Eagle 35.
Oh, the Allen Hurns that they cut?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, they don't need him now because they got Amari.
Okay? Hold on. So why didn't they cut him when they got Amari?
Okay, that's weak. The point is, at Falcons, go check this out. Go look what he did. Go look at the big late completions.
What does Zeke do?
To Gallup and to Cole Beasley.
But see, the thing is, all you're doing is what does Zeke do?
When the money's on the line, nobody cares about Zeke anymore. It's can you stop the passer? That's what it boils down to. In the National Football League, in the end of the game, can you defend the pass?
Well, Skip,
and they couldn't.
Skip, okay.
He beat Philly twice, fourth quarter in overtime, and he lit them up.
Okay, but answer me this question, and then I'll be done with it. If Zeke is so inconsequential, what's the negotiation? What are we talking about?
Well, that's a hard one, man.
No, it's not.
Because he thinks he's better than Todd Gurley.
It doesn't matter what he thinks.
And he well may be, but Todd Gurley didn't deserve Todd Gurley money. So you got a problem because if you give in to Zeke's early demands, if you just say, sure, we'll give you that, you might bite that bullet for the next 3 or 4 years because he might not be able to live up or to stay healthy enough to live up.
All I'm saying to you and all the guys that said, look at what C.J. Anderson did when Todd Gurley went out. If you feel that strongly that Zeke Elliott is in the same situation, why is that even a negotiation?
Okay.
You just signed Tony Pollard.
Thank you.
Okay, then.
I agree because he's the one guy you have under your control for 4 years. Do you want to keep him in Cabo for 4 years? Does he want to stay there for 4? That's a long time.
Trade him.
No.
Why not?
He's the best back in football.
No, what are we talking about then? He's the best back in football. You said Todd Gurley doesn't deserve his money, the best back in football.
Wait a second. We got him. We got him. No, unfortunately, the CBA says he's ours.
But I get.
Am I right?
But I get all of that.
Why would we trade him?
Hold on.
We got him.
The CBA says,
he loves to play football. He needs to play football.
The CBA also says you can put 2 franchise tags on on Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott. So what's the deal? You got him. So why are you trying to negotiate now?
Okay, but Dak has way out-earned his contract. He's going to make $2 million next year.
Zeke Elliott has led the league in rushing 2 or 3 years.
Do you really want to risk Dak Prescott becoming a free agent at the end of this year? You want to see people jump after him?
Well, they're telling you they're willing to risk that because guess what? They hadn't signed him yet.
Well, they will.
Oh, they will.
Want to bet?
Hold on.
Want to bet by season opener Dak Prescott is signed, sealed, and delivered for the next 5 years? Want to bet?
You got 3 guys under contract that needs contracts, that want contracts.
Okay. We got this. Jerry's got this.
You hope.
I got the Brady of negotiators negotiating right now. I got Jerry Jones. He is Brady-esque. 2 people I don't bet against. Tom Brady on a football field, Jerry in negotiations.
Well, they got Tom Condon and Scott Boras negotiating their contract.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever compared Jerry Jones to Tom Brady.
That's the only time.
That is a new one.
I'm doing it right now.
We're going to
By the way,
I
got one last quick point
against
New Orleans. It was a nip-tuck game, obviously, on a Thursday night. Texas at Jerry World. Dak Prescott had a QBR in that game of 72. Drew Brees had a QBR of 15. Just to say, underrated, underappreciated, 15. Underestimated.
And guess what? I know a guy that had a QBR of 26 in the Super Bowl and won.
He won.
So QBR really doesn't go to show you how well or how good or bad he did.
Because Brady is Brady.
I'm just saying.
With the money on the line,
Brady.
He went 5 for 5.
You guys, it's good you mentioned the guy because we now have proof that Tom Brady is leaving Boston. Well, at least he's leaving Brookline. We'll discuss that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Summertime is here, and while you may be breaking out that baseball cap for a day at the beach or the ballpark, if you're wearing it to hide thinning hair, you may not have to anymore. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. No waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. Save hours by going to 4hims.com. And products are shipped directly to your door. Order now. Undisputed listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See website for full details and safety information. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy. Go to 4hims.com/undisputed. That's hims.com/undisputed, forhims.com/undisputed.
No mercy.
The NCAA is adding a new rule for agents who want to represent athletes trying to enter the NBA draft. The rule requires agents to have a bachelor's degree in order to represent a college player. This is interesting since LeBron's agent, Rich Paul, does not have one. The news prompted LeBron and others to call it the, quote, Rich Paul rule. LeBron then tweeted a lot of laughing emojis and wrote, "Can't stop, won't stop. They big, mad, and scared. Nothing will stop this movement and culture over here. Sorry, not sorry." Loves the emojis, LeBron. Shannon, what is your reaction?
LeBron is right. Skip, we know why this rule was in place. And once Rich Paul became an outspoken critic of the NCAA, Skip, he became in their crosshairs. Last year, he says, we're talking about a system here that has been broken for a long time, and these kids and their families need option. And for me, I come from the athlete side where I'm always trying to find out, how do I do what's best for the athlete? An agent obligation, Skip, is to do what is in the best interest for the athlete. The NCAA, for the longest time, all time, since it's been the NCAA, has always done what's best for the NCAA. And anytime you take kids, can you imagine had Zion Williamson or R.J. Barrett taken these options? How much money did these kids make for, say, Duke, for the NCAA during the tournament? Do you think they made, okay, let's just say, what does it cost to go to undergrad at Duke? 50 grand a year?
Probably.
I would go conservative. I'm going to say 65. Do you think R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson made Duke University $65,000? Do you believe they made the NCAA $65,000? I would say yes. Yeah. But when Rich Paul took the kid, Basley, I think his name is, and he got an internship with New Balance overseas for $1 million,
he did.
Now these guys have options. So how do I make it? Because I don't want this thing to copycat, because Skip, I see one guy do it now. He got $1 million. Okay, that might be an option. I might get $2 million. How do I make sure that I can prevent Rich from doing this? He doesn't have a degree. So if you don't have a, Skip, that's a non-starter right there. If you don't have a degree, you can't do this. See, no one had a problem when David Falk, David, I don't know if David Falk's represent, Skip, he had everybody. You know that. When he got Michael Jordan.
Once upon a time, he had everybody.
He had everybody. If you had a name and you played in the NBA, you signed with him. And all these guys, nobody had a problem with it. Now Rich Paul, young black guy, doesn't have a college degree, but he got certified. The Players Association said all you need is a certification, and then you can be a representative for a player. But that's not good enough, because now he has LeBron and AD, and he just got Draymond $100 million, and John Wall. He got all these guys, Skip, and he took this. Skip, this is one time that a guy says, you know what, well, it's not the first time, but what he did is that he empowered the guy, and he gave him an option. He said, now you can go to the NCAA and play for free and make them $1 million, or you can put $1 million in your bank account and help your mom and dad or whomever in your family, and then we'll turn around and we'll apply for the draft in the following year. Well, he goes in the first round. I think he went to Denver 23, 25th, something like that, Skip. Skip, we know what this is about. Every time the bruh man tried to get ahead, somebody will put, ain't no somebody, we know who it is. Mr. Charlie will put a block up that says, nah, you doing too well, and we don't like it. That's all this is about, Skip Bayless. For no other reason. This doesn't have anything to do with the kids. Skip, they make it seem like athletes is the only profession that you can fail in. They make it seem like if you go to Harvard Medical School, all those guys become top-notch surgeons, and they either work at Johns Hopkins, Mass General, or the Houston Clinic. No. You act like you get a finance degree, everybody goes to J.P. Morgan or something and succeed. Only athletes. Skip, these NBA teams don't have to take these young guys that's coming out. Because remember, Skip, when they put that in, oh, we're trying to save the player. Skip, you don't have to take a guy out of high school. You make a choice. Just like a law firm doesn't have to take a guy out of Harvard. They make a choice. Whether he succeed or fail is based solely on the individual. And this is a shame that the NCAA stooped to this level.
It is. I can't tell you how much I agreed with every point you just made, to the point that, for me, yesterday was LeBron James at his greatest, because it's not easy to do what he did yesterday. It takes guts. It takes clout. It takes risk factor, because there are a whole lot of folks out there who love dear old you and college athletics, college football, college basketball, right?
Right.
College football Saturdays, March Madness.
Okay.
So LeBron took that on, and he's been taking it on for a while, because back last February, he flat out said at a shoot-around when he was asked about the FBI investigations of the NCAA.
Oh, yeah.
He said, the NCAA is corrupt. We know that. Sorry, it's going to make headlines, but it is corrupt. Whew. LeBron James said that. And there's some shockwaves, because a close friend of LeBron's, who runs Clutch Sports for LeBron, is Rich Paul. And when I read this yesterday, the first thing I thought of was, gee, wait a minute, you're putting an educational requirement on an agent? That's, my first thought was, that's an undertone of racism.
Yeah.
And then I thought, wait a second, that's an overtone of racism, right?
Yeah.
It's an overtone. It just screams.
That is a dog whistle, Skip. That's a bullhorn.
That's a bullhorn.
Yeah.
What?
It's horrible.
Really? You're trying to tell me that Rich Paul isn't as qualified, isn't as savvy, isn't as experienced as somebody who got a BA,
Yeah.
Stop it. I've had my issues with Rich Paul, the kingmaker, as he was called in Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
But hey, when it comes to knowing the business,
Right.
to being the king of agents,
Right.
no, he's at the top of my list.
Right.
If I wanted to go, if I had to pick a sports agent to be my agent, I'd want Rich to be my agent.
Exactly. Skip,
Right?
what they're trying to do, they're trying to make it seem like, well, we're going to protect the kids from shady agents.
Yep.
But if you go back through the history of time, if you look at the guys, the athletes, baseball, football, basketball, whatever the sport may be, and you look at the guys that's been taken advantage of, most of those guys got plaques hanging on the wall, graduated of MIT, graduated of Harvard, graduated of this school, graduated of that school.
That is true. No.
But this is not about this is about protecting your brand, which is the NCAA, and making sure we still have this pipeline of college athletes, and no one gets to bypass us and take money out of our pockets. This has nothing to do with no educational skills. No. This has everything to do with what Rich Paul has been able to do, and they're upset about it.
Now we're back to my biggest problem with both college basketball and college football. Let's start with college basketball. One and done. Somehow you are required to play 1 year of college basketball when clearly a Zion, let's take, for instance, could have gone straight to the NBA and probably been pretty good last year as an NBA player, right?
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional to make him go to Duke for a year.
Yes.
It's just wrong.
Right.
And we saw what Ben Simmons did. He comes from Australia. Wait a minute. You're telling me I have to go somewhere? I have to go to LSU and Baton Rouge?
I go piddle around down there for a little while.
So I'll go down there and I'll just mail it in.
Right.
Yeah,
I watched all those Ben Simmons games. He's like not even into it. He just goes stand over on the wing and watch his 4 teammates play basketball.
Kevin Durant. So what did Kevin Durant, besides winning Naismith Player of the Year, what did Kevin Durant get out of college?
I don't know. He got a fun year in Austin, Texas.
Exactly.
He's a great talent.
They did retire his jersey. That's all in good. But all you did was inhibit the man from making millions a lot earlier than what he would have.
You did. It's just flat out wrong. And it's going to be very interesting if Bronny comes of age, he's going to get through high school. The one and done it looks like it's still got a couple to 3 years more to run.
Which will be around the time he'll be out. I think Bronny is, 8th grade? So he's
going into 9th.
Ninth.
Yeah.
So we're like 3 or 4 years away. So maybe by then, it'll be the one and done will be done with.
Will he be good enough to go straight into pro basketball? Maybe if LeBron would like to try to play 1 year with his son, maybe.
Well, I think in this situation, LeBron understands. If he believes his son and Bronny and Junior believe that he's good enough, Bron's going to do the right thing by the kid.
Yeah.
Although he wants it to be able to say, you know what, the Crean Griffey senior and junior thing, Skip, playing on the same team, that was phenomenal. But if he's not ready, LeBron is not going to force the issue.
Right.
LeBron is too good of a dad. To say, you know what, to be selfish, I want this to happen, so I'm going to buy skirt. No matter how he feels about the NCAA, but he made it abundantly clear. If they'd had that rule in, me and my mama weren't going to be poor anymore.
Yep.
I don't know where I was going. He said he was going to Ohio State, but we weren't going to be poor anymore.
Okay, all right. And he got in under the wire.
Right.
He got to go straight into the NBA.
Correct.
Now we get to college football, sport you cover.
Sure.
Talk about unconstitutional. Now you force these kids to stay for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. And you know running backs, we just talked about running backs transition fastest.
Yes.
We can go back to Claret's situation. Could he have gone straight from high school and played fairly high-level pro football? Yeah.
You know, the running back that I believe that could have done that, Skip, that I've seen say in the last 15 years was probably Adrian Peterson.
Okay, I'll buy that one, too. I watched him at his freshman year at Oklahoma.
If he couldn't have done it his freshman year, he was definitely ready to go after his freshman year.
Now, would there be some tragic stories where kids would try and fail? You better believe there would be. That's America. It happens every day.
People act like, Skip, every time someone opens a business, it doesn't become Google, Apple, or Microsoft.
No.
Businesses fail all the time. Well, that's what an athlete is. He is a business. And sometimes they make it and go big like LeBron James, and then sometimes they get swept away. But that's not an agent's fault. That's
their decision.
That's a decision that you
Should
make.
be theirs.
Just like if you open up a business.
Yeah.
We have a free market economy.
Well, we're supposed to have that.
We're supposed to, but the essence of it is that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
The foundation of it is supposed to be that. So you have the opportunity to succeed or fail.
That should be but that should be your decision. Not NCAA, not NBA or NFL. That should be an individual decision. If I succeed, I did it my way. If I fail, hey, I thought I was ready. Clearly, I wasn't ready. You move on. Okay. But this is ridiculous. I don't know who they think. And then, Skip, this is what you got to do. Okay, you get the bachelor's, and now you got to come to Indy, and you got to take a test at the NCAA. You know what I would do? I would go get me. You know what? I would go, and I'm gonna take the test. And when they say time's up, you know what I draw on my paper?
What?
The middle finger. I was like, did I pass? Did I pass the test, y'all? I need to know.
I don't think you should.
Yeah.
Don't they have to interview you also and pass?
And then, Skip, if there's an investigation, even if you're not in the center of the investigation, you got to cooperate. I ain't dry snitching on nobody. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Why am I talking about somebody else, what they did? That's your issue. You deal with it.
So I applaud LeBron James for turning up the heat on this issue. Thank you.
It was bold from him, and hopefully the conversation will continue now with this from LeBron, because it feels like this is just the beginning of something that will be talked about.
I hope like 15 guys go with Rich Paul.
Exactly. That's the thing.
That's what he gonna do. They gonna drive guys. They don't really
go in the reverse
It's gonna have
direction.
the adverse effect of what they think is gonna happen.
Good.
No mercy.
Okay, next up, if you guys have about $40 million, you can buy Tom Brady at Giselle's Massachusetts house. A little out of my budget, since it is now on the market. Brady recently turned 42, but he also agreed to a 2-year extension. But it can be voided after this season, which would make him a free agent. But there's more QB news out of Patriots camp. Rookie Jarrett Stidham is a, quote, early star in camp, according to MassLive.com. And Philip Dorsett added that he can make any throw. Interesting. Shannon, what do you make of all of this?
Ain't no guy wearing 58 jersey, a star, playing the quarterback position.
What's that about?
You can put him on a red jersey and have any other number, but 58
is that it?
Ain't it.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Probably not it.
Skip, look, I'm not going to read too much into this. I know a lot of people are starting to read a whole lot into it. Skip, you remember he had this Brentwood home here, big mansion that he stayed in probably 6 months to a year. He ended up selling that to Dr. Dre.
He did.
Skip, who knows? Maybe he wants to downside. Maybe he and Giselle were laying in bed one night. He's like, babe, for us and the 2 kids, that's a lot of house. Maybe we downsize. Maybe, who knows? You're like, 40 million, this is a nice house, but I think we should probably do 50, 60. Maybe they want to get a bigger house. Because when you have the kind of the means that those 2 individuals have, Skip, you have a multitude of houses. You don't have one house. You got a house over here. They got a penthouse in Tribeca. Yep. They probably got another place overseas. They got means to have multiple locations. I don't want to read a whole lot into it. Maybe Skip, he's like, you know what? I'm sure these jokers, I'm for real. I'm putting this thing on the market because they think they're trying to hold me hostage by just giving me a 1-year deal.
Well, do you think that's happening?
No, I don't. I don't. And I don't think the Patriots are believing it that is happening either. I just, it's just really hard to tell. Tom is really a buttoned-up guy. But, Skip, I know this. of all the players that play in the NFL, the biggest ego and the most pride normally resides in the quarterback.
I agree.
And that quarterback, Skip, basically said, we're going to give you, the team basically told that guy that has 6 Super Bowls with 4 MVPs, we're going to give you a 1-year deal because we don't really know what you can do. We're going to make you prove it moving forward. When I believe, and I think he believes, Skip, guys like Tom Brady, it's like Coach K. Skip, Coach K deserves, unless he has some kind of scandal just blows the top off everything, he deserves to retire at Duke. When he says, I'm done, okay, you're done. Certain guys get that kind of leverage.
Yep.
That guy should say, you know what? If I want to play till I'm 65 and I want to play for the minimum, hey, that's what I should be able to do. But clearly, that's not the way the Patriots do business. That's not the way Coach Belichick does business. But, Skip, I don't want to put a whole lot into it. Maybe he wants to downsize. Maybe he wants to get a bigger house. Maybe he wants a shorter commute. But I'm not buying into it. He's doing this to show them. I'm going to show y'all guys. I'll go play somewhere else. I'm not buying it.
So, for my first point of amusement, Tom Brady has listed his house, he and Giselle, at $39.5 million, almost $40 million.
Go ahead, Skip, why not 40? Like somebody like the guy that can afford 39 and a half, he can't afford 40.
Yeah. I mean, 39 feels somehow a little better than 40. Yeah, you know, realistic.
Zillow estimates rates the value of said house somewhere between 8.7 and a high of $13.1 million.
Really?
So the highest they would rate it at is 13.1. They are asking almost $40 million.
So they are asking triple what the house at the highest value.
Because Tom Brady lived there and Giselle lived there.
Yeah.
But that's wild to think about. I didn't even consider that.
Can they get it on name value alone?
Oh, Skip, that's
wow.
I mean, in Brentwood, you know, I think in Brentwood, where they brought 11 acres, the house is sitting on 11 acres. Well, if you get that kind of, the land alone is reported that he paid $11 million just for the land. So you know if you put that kind of house on land, you got to go at least double the value of the land that the house is sitting on. So you're looking at $32 million right there. I think he sold that for $40 million.
Okay.
But Brookline, Skip, who gonna buy the house? Mr. Kraft?
Well, it is a really nice area to live.
It's a leafy
right by
suburb,
BC.
and remember, the backyard is up against the 9th fairway and the 9th tee, so it's separated by a big fence and a high hedge, but still nice view. And you're it's called the Country Club of Brookline, where they've had a Ryder Cup and 3 U.S. Opens. So the point is,
do I get a golf club membership?
No, you don't get it.
Whoa.
Wait a second. It took Tom Brady 3 years to get into the club.
That is ridiculous.
First of all, Skip Bayless, look here.
How could you not get him in?
If I move into a place, country club, and it got a golf course.
Well, you would get right in.
No. Yeah. And I spent $40 million on the house.
Yeah.
The golf course. The membership coming. Oh, the membership coming.
That country club would just sniff at that. I'm sorry.
I'm going to say I ain't going to be able to help y'all here.
Okay, so here's my 2 cents on $40 million. I just think Tom Brady loves to create this kind of controversy. He just loves it.
So in other words, Tom Brady is a drama king. He's a LeBron-esque of football.
But he's channeling it differently than the other drama king who disrupts and distracts his team with his drama. This is all fueled into urgency, to immediacy, to keeping everybody on a very good edge. Like, is it possible this is Tom's last year? It is not possible to me, but at least there's a hint of what's going on here. Because you don't know, I don't know. My best guess is when you're trying to sell a house of that worth and you're trying to get that price, it's going to take a long time because you're going to have very select people come look at it. And Tom's not there very much during the season anyway, so it's a good time for people to come during the day and check out the house. And if somebody did plunge and buy it within the next month, I think there would be a stipulation, we will not move out until February.
Oh, I wish I might. I wish I might pay $40 million and you tell me when I can move in.
That's part of the deal.
That ain't part of no deal I'm doing.
Tom Brady's house, and Tom can get whatever deal he wants.
I don't give a Skip Bayless, you must be out your mind. You plunge. So let me get this right, Skip. There's this nice car. Let's see, a 1962 Ferrari. And they say, you know what, Skip? I'm selling this car, and I want $25 million. I think one just went a couple of years ago for $33 million. And they say, you know what, Skip? I'm gonna sell you this car for $33 million, but I'm going to drive it for the rest of the year.
And then
you can take it over in 2020. What you going to say, Skip? Exactly. You going to say...
Who owns the car?
Oh,
Tom Brady owns it?
Guess what?
I'm waiting.
You're waiting? Yeah.
Guess what? He still owns it because I ain't buying it.
No.
Hey, man, you ain't nobody going to let you buy no house for no $40 million. You talking about I can't move out until the end of the year. Okay. Get up out of here.
So it's highly possible that Tom and or Giselle just, they just get bored and they want a new challenge. Yeah. They want a new house to redecorate and design. And
Right. Okay? Maybe they're one of some of those people, I don't watch those HGTV shows where they build and
my wife watches
remodel and they build.
Oh, yeah.
I see it almost every night because it's always on when I walk through the living room.
So
do you really?
Yeah.
So maybe
HGTV.
maybe they are the type of people that like to build and diagram their own things and then like, okay, after a couple of years, our next project.
Yeah, okay. But I still think that Tom Brady likes to toy with people via IG.
I mean, golly gee whiz, Tom.
Great.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
He does.
I mean,
he loves the corny. Just wait for the post of Tom walking us through his home for sale with a few.
That's a good one.
Like he'll have fun with
Tom,
this.
I got 14 and a half for you right now.
Do you really?
I got 14 and a half.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Over what truly
is
saying.
Yeah. I mean, because it's Tom Brady. I'm just paying $1.5 million because it's Tom Brady playing. Then I'm gonna turn around and list it. I'm gonna list it for 30.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give somebody a deal.
Okay, so now on the other side of the coin, we have all these reports that Jarrett Stidham is lighting it up as if he might be a big threat to Tom Brady as the starting quarterback this year, right?
Tom Brady said, no guy with a 58 jersey on.
Stop it. Okay, so just for the record, just quickly, I respect Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
I watched him in his brief stint at Baylor. I don't know if you covered any of those games.
Didn't really, actually.
That was
surprisingly, I didn't cross paths with him.
But then they had the big scandal. He transferred. He had to do a year at McLennan Community College, but then he goes to Auburn. Yep, he goes to Auburn. He starts for 2 years. In the first year, they were really good. And they had big upset wins over Bama and Georgia. Then they lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game. And they lost in the Peach Bowl to UCF. But I watched a lot of him, and last year they went 8-5. And trust me on this, he does have ability, and he does have a big arm. 6'2", 218. Not quite Brady's 6'4", but still. Under fire, biggest games, he's the opposite of Tom Brady. He's not cool under fire. That's just me. That's my takeaway from watching a lot of Jarrett Stidham. So is he a candidate to be the next Tom Brady? I doubt it. I think he's a talented kid, but intangibly, not.
But Skip, you know how they think.
Yep.
They don't think it's the athlete that makes this. They think it's the system.
No,
and they feel they can plug it. It doesn't matter, offense, defense, or special teams. That's why they're so willing to let anybody go, because they believe it's a system that we have in place, and we get guys to buy in, and so it doesn't matter how great you are over there. No. You fit this.
So a year ago, they took Danny Etling in the 7th round, and I lost my first bet to you on this show it was like late November of our first year, 2016, because it was Bama at LSU, and I said, I'm going to take LSU at home.
Yeah, because you like Danny Etling.
It was 0-0 early in the 4th quarter, and Jalen Hurts, who's going to win the next Heisman Trophy this year, if in fact
he might not even start.
I don't know. I don't even know if
well, hold on.
Yeah, somebody's going to win.
I'll be all over it,
Maybe
guys.
it's Spencer Rattler. He's going to be the other kid that starts. But one of them's going to win the Heisman. I don't know, because it's just Heisman U. It's just like
stop saying that.
It's just an assembly line of Heismans coming out of there, thanks to Lincoln Riley. But the point is, Danny Etling just couldn't score. He couldn't make a first down against Bama's. It's Bama's defense, but they take him in the 7th round, and now he is a receiver. Just for the record. So.
Well, he's a jack of all trades. At some point in time, they'll put him in the game, and everybody think he's a receiver, and Tom Brady will throw him a swing pass, and then he'll end up throwing it down the field for a touchdown.
Maybe.
You know that's what's going to happen.
Maybe. Yep.
Was that really the first bet you lost?
Yep.
Good memory.
The first bet. No, it was. Killed me. Just crushed me. I couldn't even sleep.
Well, you got it back.
Nothing
I had
since.
it.
Yeah,
I had it.
He got it back with Ohio State.
Just a couple. But who's counting?
Did I get it back?
I'll get it back.
How many times?
I get it back this year. Obama gonna be right back at that.
I don't think so. I think it's Clemson's to lose.
Oh, so now you on Dabo. Now you like Dabo.
He's the real Saban.
All right. So the Raiders, did they actually look impressive on Hard Knocks last night? We will discuss everything we saw next.
No mercy.
Last night was the debut episode of Hard Knocks with the Raiders. John Gruden, Derek Carr, Antonio Brown, and rookie safety Jonathan Abram were some of the stars of the show. The full episode replays tonight on HBO. Let's take a look at the most talked about part of the first episode.
Come on. Huh?
Where's Rodgers?
He played with the Steelers. Our quarterback, Derek, now. We don't play with Roethlisberger no more. We play with the Raiders. We play with Derek Carr. That's my quarterback. You know his name? What's his name?
Derek Carter?
Derek Carr.
Now where's Daddy?
He over there, number 4. You out there practicing.
I love that. Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway from the first episode?
Roethlisberger?
Where's he at?
See, Antonio can't give up the Steelers.
Where's
Neither
he
can
at?
his kids. They still want to be Steeler Nation.
Skip. Jonathan Abrams. That's Jonathan Abram.
Abram. Yeah.
That safety better be Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, and Ronnie Lott in 20 years.
They hope he's Jack Tatum because he's.
No. He got to be better than that, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, because the way now I don't know if he was playing it up a little bit for the cameras, but dude was talking like he that monster, like he that woo. I get look all that coach. I only got one speed. Skip, there's a time and a place for everything. I was a rookie, and when I was a rookie, when we were in the pads and drills called for it, I went full speed. Okay, I get that, but I also understood when we're in shorts, there was no time and place for that. He's trying to run through people like we got pads on. There will be an opportunity.
He went through the tight end on the ground in a non-contact.
Lord have mercy.
Right?
Everybody. See, God don't make mistakes. He know I couldn't play it this time because he already know. He already know he got one time to throw me down, and guess what? Sharpe take it in.
And then Gruden went over and got in his face about it, and he was giving it back.
Yeah,
to
and he's
Gruden.
trying to explain. Oh my goodness gracious! But look, that bothered me. And then Ollie, Skip, what was he thinking? The general rule of thumb is, Brian Billick told us something when he always tell the rookies. He said, guys, don't cut yourself. That's my job. Skip, the guy hurts himself in practice. He leaves practice, and then he doesn't show up for training, treatment the next day. And then Brinson Buck, now I played against Buck, know Buck very well. He's like, bro, what's up? Nobody told me. What do you mean? You leave practice, you get treatment. Are you cured overnight? Why would you not show up? He made it very easy for John Gruden said, oh, okay, get him out of here.
That bummed me out.
That's the thing, Skip, guys.
Because I thought we were setting him up to be 4 episodes of he's going to make the team.
Yes.
He was my favorite. Did you get Last Chance U?
Yeah,
he was the star of that.
And Buck told him, he said, bro, you already have this stigma from what they saw on that. So you already got, Skip, you got to be ahead of it. You can't be in the curve. You got to be ahead of it. You can't give them any reason to say, you know what, we get somebody, when we get somebody else to do this, what he's doing. And another thing, I'm looking, Skip, I don't remember, I played 14 training camps. I don't ever remember having the families. Now, after practice was over, okay, but while guys are practicing, Antonio Brown got his kids right there beside him.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that what they're doing now?
That's what he's doing now.
Boy, look here. First of all, Dan Reeves would have never gone for that. I know Mike Shanahan never, ever. Now, we did have a family get-together, Skip, before the season started. The final 53 guys that's going to make the roster. Mike would have a casino night. We go over, we play blackjack, roulette. We have a good time. We laugh and talk. And then, okay, we get ready to go. But I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I love the atmosphere. I love the family-type atmosphere. But, Skip, when I went to camp, to be honest with you, Skip, I wasn't really trying to see nobody.
No. Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to see no girl. I wasn't trying to see no girlfriend. I wasn't really trying to see no kids. When my mind was there, Skip.
I hear you.
I get that.
I'm sorry.
And I think your camps were much harder than these camps. Much harder.
Skip, we put it
twice a day, thudding up.
Thud?
Yeah.
Skip, when we went to camp with Dan Reeves, my head coach, in 1990 to 92.
He was old school.
So we put the pads. We had the pads on the next day.
I know.
And we goal line, half line, 9 on 7.
Yep. So I got several takeaways, and I'm going to start with Antonio. Obviously, they did not play up the fact that we're going to talk about later in the show that he's got a foot problem. Hope it'll go away, but it's restricting his ability to practice. You saw a little, glimpses of it, but you didn't get into the why of it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
The first scene that caught my eye was Gruden's opening team meeting to start training camp. and the camera pans back, and Antonio's standing in the back doorway with a couple of unknown players.
Right.
As if he's one of the undrafted free agents.
Right.
And he's just standing clear in the back. And, of course, Derek Carr, teacher's pet, trying to be teacher's pet, he's front and center, front row.
Yeah.
I don't think John Gruden loved that because they gave a whole lot of money. They didn't have to give that much to get. They gave a third and a fifth to get him because Pittsburgh was just done.
Yeah.
Let's cut our losses, cut bait, but you got to pay him. So they gave him his $50 million, 30 guaranteed. They gave him $16.7 a year, third highest paid receiver behind Michael Thomas and Odell. So John Gruden knows that, and John Gruden is not going to ever let AB forget. We're paying you a lot of money. I want you front and center. He's not going to do it on the first team meeting, but as camp progresses, he's going to make it clear. My first go around here, I had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown, and they are two high-quality Hall of Fame receivers. Trust me, at the opening meeting, they were on the front row, front and center, because that's just how they conducted business. That's how they were built. So for Antonio to stand way in the back, it sends a message that I'm above you guys. I don't go sit and listen to the coach give his cliches to start camp. I don't do that.
I'm surprised he didn't go Facebook Live.
Well, maybe, yeah.
I
was a little surprised John didn't say, Antonio, come take a seat.
You know what, Scott? I think the first meeting, he's not, he's just like, okay, let me get my points out. Let me, and he doesn't have a whole lot of rules. Try to be on time. Try to.
I heard try.
What the hell you mean try?
It wasn't try to be on time. It was some other try.
Don't be over, don't be overweight.
Yeah. Oh, try not to be overweight.
Right. Try not to be overweight.
Else.
Try not? Oh, interesting.
Okay. Well, Skip, it's different now because, like you said, can we hit or are we going to have a compliance officer come by? It's a different time.
Okay, back to number 4, that quarterback in that red jersey right there. I just got the sense between the lines, John Gruden has not bought into Derek Carr, and that Derek Carr is trying his hardest to be the teacher's pet, to buddy up to Gruden, and Gruden sort of grudgingly gives him a little praise. That was a good deep throw, that was a good deep ball. Like, well, that's kind of what you pay him to do, right?
He's got the money. I hope he can throw a deep ball.
I hope he can throw a deep ball, right? And it just felt like Derek Carr is still trying as hard as he can to win over a head coach who's not quite bought in.
It looks like he's trying to win over the team, too, because he's already taking everybody out.
He was. Yep. I don't know. I'm not sure that relationship is going to – it's not for the long haul. Back to Jonathan Abram. I watched him several times at Mississippi State. Trust me on this. He is one who will leap off your screen because he is a misguided missile sometimes. He is heat-seeking.
He played against Alabama?
He will blow people up. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he will talk it, and then he will back it up. I think he's good enough to live up, but he is fearless on and off the field because he is talking big and bad to any and everybody, even his head coach.
Skip, and I'm not saying that the kid might be spectacular, but you do know the guys that he's going against. They're spectacular, too.
I got it. Because
I don't think he realized
really
that, though.
Full of himself.
Maybe that's it. He doesn't know yet.
It's what makes him tick. It's how you were somewhat like this. You needed to talk, so you're writing checks you have to cash.
Well, the thing, and sometimes in training camp, Skip, because it does get monotonous. And I remember when I was in Denver, and Cool would come to me and say,
Gary Kubiak,
who's the offensive coordinator, would say the boss needs you to get them going today. Well, Mike has already told him, go tell Shannon to get them agitated. Okay, so now I'm going to it's time to strike up the band. So I'm coming in like I'm a drum major. Boom, 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 boom. And everybody know what time it is. We gonna hit 9:07, and we going to work today. The man has already said we going to work today, and normally we have a good day, Skip. Afternoon, we gonna be, he gonna give us a light day. So I had to get it going. Everybody has a job, but for me, I understood. Real Romanowski and I. Yeah, there's times we're in pad 907s. We had a brother-in-law program. Sharpe. Let's make it look good for the cameras. Man, you thought me and Romo was out there gladiating when we had that thing going. But we had them brother loaded up. We understood that, Skip. We got to take care of each other.
That's right.
We scrimmage. And we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers scrimmage. But I remember we had a scrimmage against the Carolina Panthers. I think it was either 96 or 96. And Kevin Green and Lamar Latham were the linebackers. We go say, look here, bro. We're going to make it look good for the cameras. You keep me away from the piles. I'm going to keep you away from the piles. We're going to keep everything up.
Yep.
We good.
Okay. So, who is the most controversial Raider this side of
Richie Incognito?
No, there's one more.
You got
Vontez Burfict.
Oh.
He's right up there.
But he ain't played no big role last night. Maybe it's coming.
Maybe I missed it, but I don't think he got a mention.
He didn't.
Right?
I mean, they panned on him.
Talk to us.
He was talking. Gruden was talking to the linebackers and everything, and it says, look, about hitting, and it's like, when we're going to hit, and Gruden says, well, there's a league that they'll let you hit. They pay about $800. You want that?
Yeah.
Dude, like, nah, I'm good, coach. But I'm surprised too. But Incognito, but it's funny though, Skip. You see and you hear about some of the things that Richie has done, and then we have him here. You like
he can be like the nicest guy in the world.
And
right?
then you watch him at practice, and he's engaging, and then you think about, is that the same guy that said all those things? Is that the same guy that's going to get suspended for 2 games for what he tried to do to it? Like,
I agree. Doesn't always fit. A lot of layers to that one. Maybe we'll start to see.
But training camp, I love training camp. I love going away from training camp because you do build camaraderie, Skip. You find out a lot about guys.
You do.
That was my time to, play a little bit, play some games.
I need to go back and watch all your Hard Knocks. I feel like I got to know this side of you that I've forgotten all about. I'm sure you played it up well for the cameras. We're going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. Is he really going to sit out the entire season?
Stop it.
He's still hanging out in Cabo. We'll discuss with Reggie Bush.
No mercy.
Well, Ezekiel Elliott is still not in camp, but we got a little more insight on his future yesterday. Reps for Zeke told the Cowboys that he will not play this season without a new contract, according to ESPN. And Stephen Jones said yesterday that the market was reset by Le'Veon Bell's deal with the Jets. This could be a problem for Zeke since Le'Veon is making just over $13 million a year, and Zeke reportedly wants Todd Gurley money. He makes over $14 million a year. We're joined by Fox football analyst Reggie Bush. Good to have you with us, Reggie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you think Zeke will actually miss regular season games?
I think he could. I think he could miss regular season games because it's the only leverage that he has, right? In a situation where you have 2 years left on your contract, the team can franchise tag you up to 2 years. I understand his point. I do think he does deserve to be the highest paid because he is the best. And out of the 3 who have been offered from the Cowboys, top 5 money, Dak, Amari, and Zeke. Zeke is the only one that's actually top 5 in this position. Right? He the only one.
Only one.
I can argue.
You can't argue nothing.
I can.
No, you can't.
I can argue.
Well, I'm like the NCAA. You need a law degree.
Dak and Amari, I don't even think they're top 10 in their positions. So Zeke does have some leverage, but the only leverage is holding out and not playing, withholding services and not playing games. I think running backs are now starting to understand more the shelf life of a running back, understanding that I have a small window of opportunity to make the most money possible. I understood it when I played. I think guys are looking at Le'Veon Bell's situation and saying, well, he had all the year to get the money that he wanted. Now, I was a little bothered because he didn't get more than Todd Gurley.
Right.
You held all that time, and you didn't get more than Todd Gurley. And so now you reset, like Stephen Jones said.
I think his market dried up, Le'Veon.
Yeah.
It did.
I think so.
I think the
you're
Jets
right.
gave him more than they needed to give him. They're bidding against themselves.
And so teams are now probably looking at Todd Gurley and saying, well, we gave another case of a situation where we gave running back money, and now we're asking the question, how many reps should we give him because he's been injured and banged up?
Before you go, how long did you last? How many years was it? You
11.
played 11.
11
That's
years.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Your biggest contracts came where and where?
So thank God, thanks to my mom, I was born in a time where they were still giving players money up front. The old money up front.
And you were the second.
And I was the second pick. And so I think Zeke understands now that I got to get this money now.
So you got big contract first, and then nothing like it thereafter?
Nothing like that afterwards.
Okay.
Nothing like that afterwards. So it's different because now running backs have to prove themselves in those first couple years. And so it's much different than when I came out. And so I think Zeke is seeing this and saying, well, I deserve to be highest paid, which he does, but he doesn't have a ton of leverage right now in this situation. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but I do think he'll miss games.
Yeah, he has to. And as Reggie mentioned, the only leverage that he's ever had, the only leverage any player has is withholding his services. It's the holdout, Skip. That's the only leverage he has. And if you look at this, if you had a draft right now, You says, okay, Zeke, Dak, and Amari. Which one of those guys you think, all 32 teams, which one do you think going off the board first? Out of Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, and Amari Cooper?
You might be surprised, because I think it would be Dak Prescott.
I guarantee you
it depends on needs.
Zeke Elliott, I believe Saquon right now, I believe Saquon Barkley is the best running back in football.
Yeah.
But Zeke is a top 3, top 4 back.
Oh, now he's fallen all the way to 4.
No. But hold on. But your quarterback is not top. He might be top 15. I might can sneak him in, Skip. If you speak highly to me, because me and you good friends, and normally your friends are my friends, I can get him into the top 15. But Cooper is not a top 10 wide receiver. No. He's not going in front of Julio, A.B., D-Hop, Mike Evans, Mike Thomas, Adams, Thielen, A.J. Green, or Mike Evans. Maybe, okay, Juju.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek. So I'm just saying that right there, Skip. I believe in order of importance, I would go Zeke, Amari, Dak, for the simple fact, Skip, look, Jerry, I don't believe that they believe that Dak is the guy. You say they say that now, Jerry says he's a franchise quarterback and we can win multiple Super Bowls. But him stalling him out tells me I'm uncertain. Philadelphia Eagles had no man, go and get one walking to him that money. $108 million guaranteed, like it ain't nothing. And your guy hasn't missed a start. My guy has missed like what, 7, 8 games?
Yeah.
That just goes to show you, Skip Bayless. And
Who's the leader of the Dallas Cowboys? Help me out.
The same guy that's the leader of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, really? The guy who had the big expose written on him by Philly voice. Remember that?
Leadership there,
a whole big expose about what a terrible leader he has been behind the scenes.
I just want to say,
really?
Skip, this is my last point. The thing that Zeke has working in his favor is that he and Todd were the same age, 24. Le'Veon is 3 years older, and he has 1,500 touches already on his body. So Zeke knows the likelihood of you're going to get one contract. You're going to get one big contract. That's it.
That's it.
Dak Prescott's going to get another big contract. Skip, he doesn't have to be spectacular, but he'll get another big contract if he's just mediocre to slightly above. Amari Cooper can get another contract. Zeke Elliott is never, ever going to get another big contract after this one. That's fact.
So Zeke obviously has outperformed his first contract. Can he outperform another one? Probably not.
No.
Okay?
No.
Jerry Jones has to keep that in mind, right?
Right.
Oh, it's in his mind. He knows.
Okay. So back to young Mr. Bush here.
Yeah.
I like his ensemble today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I did not like his opening. I do not believe that Ezekiel Elliott will miss a real football game. First of all, Jerry also knows what Zeke is made of. What is his psyche? He loves to practice football, and he obviously loves to play football games, especially when they count. So I think he is dearly missing camp practices because he likes to be with the fellas in the locker room. He likes to kid. He likes to prank. He just likes to be in that atmosphere because it's what he knows and loves the most about life.
And that's what he's done for half his life. At this time of year, been around football, other football players.
These days start passing just terribly slowly. They go slower and slower, especially when you're by yourself in Cabo. Not that he didn't have people with him, but you just feel like you're on permanent vacation in Cabo. It's a nice place for 5 or 6 days, and then the 7th day you start saying, God, it's kind of boring around here. There's not that much going on. Am I going to go work out by myself again? Am I going to do it again? We haven't even played one preseason game yet, and they have 4 scheduled. So the only week that matters to me is the week after Labor Day, building up to September 8th opener. So for me, wake me up on Labor Day. I will start getting anxious on Labor Day because that's all they need from Zeke, because they don't really need him in camp anyway. Why risk him going out there in some goal line drill and having some freak injury? I don't know. I hate that. It's like my biggest pet peeve about sports is a training camp injury. So the point is, Jerry knows his psyche. He'll get Dak done. I don't even know if he'll get Amari done next, but the tricky one is the Zeke one because Zeke has by far the least leverage. So if he wants to stay in Cabo, he could stay for 4 more years because Jerry's got him. Seriously, does Jerry not have him via CBA? Well, he's got him for 4 more years.
I think the thing that also knows Zeke has leverage because he said if you didn't think I was valuable, you'd have never taken me with the 4th overall pick. That told me. Now, you told me what you thought about Dak because you took him in the 4th round. Now, you did trade for Amari, gave up a first-round pick, but that was in the 20s. Yeah. See, you told me my value. You told me what you needed.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in football.
I agree with that.
No, Saquon is.
The running back position is not the most important.
No.
The quarterback position is. And my quarterback took off when they traded for Amari Cooper because you need somebody you trust.
Yes.
He trusted nobody. The first 8 games last year with Zeke, healthy and happy, they went 3-5. And guess who the #1 receiver was in many of those games? It was Zeke. Because he didn't trust anybody. He didn't have a #1. All of a sudden, Amari walks in the door, and not only does the quarterback take off, but so does the receiver, who was terribly unhappy in Oakland. Because they clicked.
Yes. Okay. He took off because of Zeke, though, because Zeke opens it up for the pass game, not the other way around. Zeke makes Dak better. Dak does not make Zeke better.
It's still a passing game. It's a passing game.
And I agree with you.
Wait a second. I made the case to you the other day. You're way underestimating Julian Edelman's value because, to me, he's a top 5 producer. Not if we do a combine, he's like top 35.
In New England. Right? That's true with Tom Brady.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
In New England, who's throwing the football?
Amari with Dak Prescott in Dallas.
They're not getting that same production, though.
Well, they will. I don't know. They went 7-1 down the stretch when he walked in the door. I don't know.
Skip, you're right. The quarterback is the most valuable position. But if you build your team around the running game first, now you've added value to the running back. And Zeke knows that.
When did your eyes tell you the last 8 games last year?
That Zeke was a monster.
And they had a real good defense.
Dak Prescott, over the last 8 games, had the 3rd most completions in football, the 4th most passing yards, and the 5th what's called air distance, like how far did the pass travel? So he wasn't dinking and dacking when he got Amari.
Yeah, he was. Because guess what?
Top 5. Those are top 5 stats.
Hold on. Did you notice that over the last 8 games when he got Amari Cooper, that Zeke Elliott had 55 receptions? Now, was Zeke catching goal routes? Was he catching bang 8s? No. Check down, strings, dump downs. That's what he was catching, Skip Bayless. So this notion.
What did he catch against Detroit to beat the Lions in game number 3?
Thank you. You know what?
What was it?
He said, Jerry, you see my value? I can get down the field and catch the ball. Thank you, Skip. I'm glad you brought that. I forgot that Zeke could catch the ball down the field.
He was Amari Cooper for a while.
Yeah.
I was at the Thursday night game where they beat the New Orleans Saints. Dak played terrible that game.
Whoa. Thank you very much. Dak had a QBR. Do you know QBR? Scale 0 to 100. He had a 72 that game, which is really good.
He doesn't tell the story.
And wait a second. What's the other quarterback's name? Oh, yeah, Drew Brees had a 15.
The defense won them that game. The defense won them that game.
Dak's completed like 24 of 28. I got it here somewhere. Here it is. Wait, he's 24 of 28 for 249, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. And that's terrible?
And he also almost cost him the game at the end where he turned it over.
Trying to do too much in the red zone.
Oh, so I got to deduct this, Skip. You know, Jerry's thinking about that, saying you try to do too much. When we put it on your plate, Skip, stop.
That was a defensive game.
The man scored 13 points.
Okay, but
How you score 13 points if you go 24-28 with 1 touchdown? How you only get 13 points?
I don't know.
I know. I know when you're dinking and dunking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, for 249? That's
check down good. Charlie.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Dak is
interesting.
Dak is a 1 to 2 touchdown kind of quarterback. I think that,
you know what he is? He's a 4th quarter kind of comeback quarterback.
He's a 200-yard quarterback.
He led this league in 4th quarter comebacks, game-winning drives over the last 3 years, and this past year he had 6 of them.
1960s, 70s, 200 yards, 180, 200 yards with a gold standard. That'd have been elite. Now you need to be throwing for 300. And he can't do that often enough.
Especially to get to the Super Bowl, you got to be able to push the ball down the field.
Down the field.
And we saw them get beat in the playoffs by a defense that was not playing good football all season.
Interesting against the defending Super Bowl champ Eagles in the 4th quarter of the 2nd game at Jerry World. Dak Prescott in the 4th quarter and overtime threw for 243. Is that good?
I want you to have that same
17 to 20. 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
I want you to have that.
But he can't throw a lick.
I want you
How do you do that?
He only had 2 games. He only had 2 games all season last year where he threw over 2 touchdowns. He had 10 games where he had either 0 or 1 touchdown last year.
And he had 9 games when he had 200 yards or less. When did he do that?
Well, those all came early before he had Amari.
That sounds like another quarterback that played, that won the division and won a playoff game, throwing for 200 and doing something big in the fourth quarter. I forget his name. Skip, what's his name, Skip?
Forget his name.
All he does is, you came over, they had a song about it. All he does is win, win, win.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I didn't write it.
Oh, yeah, you came. That was you. That's all you do. All he does is win.
All he does is win. That won an award.
I think
that won the Webby that year.
The last point I want to make real quick that I think people are forgetting is that Kellen Moore, this is his first year calling plays.
Love it.
Fair.
Jerry Jones is putting a lot of trust and faith into a rookie play caller.
I'm good.
If this thing does not work out, because there's no guarantee this is going to work out. I played with Kellen Moore just a couple years ago.
I know.
So I thought he got the job kind of quick. So if this thing don't work out,
where you played with him in
week 2, week 3,
was it
Detroit?
Yeah.
Detroit.
And you hope he called plays better than he played. My bad, Jay.
Those first 3 games are winnable.
Wait, do you have to be able to play quarterback to call plays?
Skip, all I said was, I hope he called plays better than what he played.
Was Josh McDaniels an all-pro?
Oh, my God.
I don't remember.
Help me out.
Either way.
Was Gary Kubiak a great player?
Did you see? Hold on. Did you see Josh McDaniels without Tom Brady? I remember he was the head coach in Denver, and I remember he was the offensive coordinator at the Rams.
Look good.
All I'm saying, that's all I know. I don't know anything else about Josh McDaniels. I don't know Josh McDaniels and breast just so Wahoo McDaniels. Wahoo McDaniels played for the Broncos.
Yeah.
But anyway, Skip, stop it. So when you talk about Josh McDaniels, you got to put him in a vacuum. That Tom Brady vacuum.
Kellen Moore's going to change life.
I really hope he does.
But
there's no guarantee it's going to work out.
Without Zeke Elliott, he ain't changing nobody's life. I tell you what, without Zeke Elliott, he going to be changing addresses. Because he's about to get up out of Dallas.
Well, he's got Tony Pollard.
Okay.
Here we go.
Just do it so well. You bring up some great points, Reggie. Thank you for joining us. Are the Cowboys ready for a big fall this season? Are they going down? Sorry, Skip. We are still talking about it. We'll tell you next.
Yep.
No mercy.
The Cowboys won 10 games in the NFC East last season, but they might be on the decline this year. ESPN's Bill Barnwell did a statistical analysis and wrote that Dallas is more likely to win about 8 games this year. He points out the fact that the Cowboys won 80% of their close games last year, which is unlikely to happen again. He added that it wouldn't surprise him if the Cowboys are better on a game-by-game basis, but still fail to win 10 games. I definitely want to get Skip's take, but Shannon, first, do you agree with his reasoning?
You still like Mr. Barnwell, right? Skip Bayless, I don't think you like it as much as you did earlier.
Was it my turn?
No, it's not your turn. No, it's my turn.
Not yet.
Skip, I agree with his conclusion, but I don't agree with them necessarily for the same reasons. I'm not one that says that because something happened last year, it's automatically going to happen the same this year, or it's going to be different. You know, you can't make that, and I get it, well, since they went to this format, I think in 2002, this many teams have missed the playoffs after making the playoffs, and I get all that, Skip. The reason why I'm saying I think they're not going to be as good, especially if they don't have one Ezekiel Elliott. I believe that this team is weighted more heavily on Zeke than what you and some of the others would believe, and I'm not as bought in on Dak as you are, especially if they do not have Ezekiel Elliott. I believe Ezekiel Elliott weight, I think it's immeasurable. And you look at him as just a regular running back. And that's what the mistake that a lot of people make, because they throw the ball so much. You see these guys throwing for 5,000 and 4,500 plus yards, and you see the big passing days. And you're like, well, everybody can do that. You don't really need the running back. But that's not how the Cowboys built their team. They built their team to be able to run the football and then play action pass off of that. But I also think one of the major reasons, Skip, and it's the same thing that we saw with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Skip, you remember they went to the AFC Championship game, and we say, okay, they re-signed the quarterback, Blake Bortles. Yeah. But anyway, they re-signed him, and it's like, it's just a little better. I say, but here's the thing. If that defense slacks off just a tad, it's over. And that's the problem. That's where I see the big stepping back. Skip, if they step back just a little, the team step back an awful lot. Yep. So I agree with his conclusion. I don't believe they'll be as good as they were last year, but I just don't believe all that analytical say. Well, they won 80% of their close games. Well, I don't buy that. But
It happened.
They did. They won that. But I forgot. They only did that because of that guy. All he does is win.
They got a clutch closer.
Whatever.
Ooh, do they? So, this is about glass half full or half empty. And historically, about half the teams that make the playoffs every year in this league, which is extraordinary, don't make it the next year.
Correct.
And going from 2017 to 2018, 7 of 12 did not make it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So are we going to repeat that cycle? Are we going to have 7 of these teams? And again, Barnwell's got other teams. He's got New Orleans. He's got Rams as potential victims of this, this syndrome, right? Okay, so what do I see? What's different about my team? Okay, so all my kids, as in the triplets and the 2 linebackers, they're all just getting a little older and a little better, right? So are we talking about a team that's aging? No, it's actually growing up.
Right.
So we're not talking about, they've passed their prime, they're too old, right? Their window's closed. No, it's just now opening.
None of their key guys are not even approaching, not even close to approaching 30.
Thank you very much. Dak and Amari did have a whole offseason to get even better on their wavelength and their rapport and their connection that they did not have last year.
How can Dak do all that getting better when he got to shoot 10 commercials?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think every time I looked up, there's more video of him throwing to Amari.
Well, what about the commercials that you see him on TV?
Still had a whole offseason, and Amari walked in the door in midseason last year, and it's hard to get on the best same page, right? Okay, so that's a big plus for me. Travis Frederick is back at center, and I'm gonna hope or suppose that he's going to be 100%.
Okay.
And that could mean Pro Bowl, maybe even All-Pro center is back. That's a big deal to me.
What about your right guard? Back. You know
he's got a back. I know, but he'll be okay.
And you know what happened with back? Oh, you said that about Ty Smith. Remember Ty Smith had that bad back?
Yep.
And you say he'll be okay.
I think he's 1,000%.
I'm just saying.
Speaking of back, Jason Witten is back. And that's a big deal because he's a bona fide Hall of Fame bound. Am I right?
Yes.
I mean, difference maker?
Based on what he did, not what he's going to do moving forward.
We saw the greatest tight end ever get enshrined on
Saturday
night.
You see him every day.
Huh?
I heard that. Did you hear that?
You see the greatest tight end every day. You work across from him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, who did I see get enshrined?
I don't know who that was
the other night.
No,
you were watching and he was talking.
Let him say
right?
it, Shannon?
I don't know. That guy was really good. That Gonzalez guy.
I let him have his little moments here and there.
Okay. Robert Quinn is an upgrade over Randy Gregory, who might or might not be.
And what happened to him yesterday?
He broke his hand, but he is. Okay. They say he will be full bore, 100% ready to go for opening Sunday.
And what do you happen? Like normally when you break your hand, what do you have to wear on the Skip? Soft cast.
Okay.
Have to wear that boxing glove thing. I mean, how you a D lineman with one hand?
4 or 5 weeks, it could heal, completely heal.
Okay.
I'm okay. And I told you from the start, Randall Cobb is a little upgrade over Cole Beasley. I respect Cole, but I think Randall Cobb's a little better because every time I was betting against Aaron Rodgers, it seems like Randall Cobb caught another big pass.
That's the problem. You betting against A-Rod. Why would you do something like that?
I think I just gave you glasses half full because glass is getting fuller. It's just going up, up, up. And by the way, I look back at what happened last year, and I'm talking about clutch closing. Do you realize that they could have easily gone 14-2 last year because they lost some close games.
What about those close games? Instead of going 8-2 and 10 close games, 7 points or fewer, what if they go 2-8? How you feel?
Okay, but my quarterback has a long history. He's led this league.
Yeah, he got no long history.
That's 3 years of game-winning drives.
Well, that's a long history, huh?
Well, wouldn't you bet on that?
No, I would not.
I think we have a big body of work for my quarterback.
Well, we already got a big bet.
So let's quickly look at what happened last year. They opened at Carolina and
lost.
It was a one-score game. And my offense had the ball back twice to go tie the score late.
And what happened?
And he's throwing to Deontay Thompson, who lasted 6 more games and got cut by this team because he's not a number 1. He's not even a number 2. And then what happened? How about the Seattle game? Who lost the Seattle game? Did Zeke not have a big drop and then a big late fumble?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But that threw one high, too.
Okay, but those glanced off receivers' hands because he didn't have anybody he had a rapport with. Didn't have a number 1 receiver. Can I keep going? How about the Houston game? It goes back and forth between Deshaun and Dak and Dak and Deshaun, and finally they make one play because they got they don't have just a number 1. They got DeAndre Hopkins, who's the best receiver in pro football, and he broke that game open in overtime. Am I right? Okay, so that's a loss. These are games they lost. What about the game at Washington? My quarterback was an absolute warrior.
He was an absolute disaster.
No, he threw for 120 yards just in the fourth quarter.
How many yards did he have total?
And what happened? Clank off the left upright at the buzzer, right? Yeah. And why was that? Because a bogus 5-yard penalty got called on the long snapper for wrongly touching.
He twitched the ball.
You can't. Every long snapper does that. Everyone does that. It was absolute robbery. So there's another one. I'm showing you games they could have won.
Okay, what about, you keep telling me that Dak threw for 120 yards in the fourth quarter, but he only had 200 for the game. So what did he do the other 3 quarters? How many yards did he have?
Did he drive him down and put him in position to go to overtime? You better believe he did.
But I want to know who fumbled that ball that Leg got a scoop and score. Who did that?
Well, he did. But he also put him in position to win the football game. They had all the momentum.
You don't get credit if you put points on the board, but in the same game, you take points off the board and put them on the board for the opposing team. That's what your guy did.
And then what happened against Seattle? My guy just took the game over with arm and legs, right?
Okay.
He was the star of that game.
Why did he
and then what happened against the Rams?
He took an L.
Where'd Zeke go?
He took an L.
What happened to Zeke? He's the driving force. Wait a second. He's the straw that stirs the drink.
No, he the
Nobody
drink.
can stop him.
No, he the drink.
If you're the drink, it doesn't matter how you strategize against him. You can't stop him.
Because here's the thing, Skip. See, people get caught up when James Bond said he wanted a martini. Shaken, not stirred. It doesn't matter if it's shaken or stirred. What's the drink? It's the martini that's at the plate.
To James Bond, it matters.
No,
he's not going to drink it. He's not going to drink it stirred. It has to be shaken.
It's the martini.
No, it's shaken.
So
martini.
Zeke is the martini.
Oh, really?
Dak is the olive. Yeah, I don't make it.
He's the olive.
Who eat olives?
You don't need it.
The
there.
Cowboys choked on that martini.
They
did. They just gagged.
Look, I know Wade Phillips. And Wade Phillips said Zeke Elliott does not beat me. He said Zeke Elliott is not beating me, and that quarterback can't beat me. We can't lose.
Boy, if the quarterback had gotten the ball back one more time in another one-score game, we might be having a real different conversation.
He had the ball.
He did not have the ball. Jared Goff ran for 19 yards on third down.
I know, but he had it before Jared Goff.
It was Jenny's fault.
He had it before
Jared Goff. It all goes back to Jenny at the game as a fan, Skip. I won't do it again. No more Cowboys games for me.
Go to any game you want to, Jenny. I got tickets for you.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. Appreciate it. I'll be just fine going to those games. Is this Tom Brady's final season in New England? Former Pro Bowler Antonio Cromartie is here. We'll discuss with him next.
No mercy.
So things are getting interesting in New England. Tom Brady and Giselle's Massachusetts house is now on the market for nearly $40 million. No big deal. Brady recently turned 42, and he also agreed to a 2-year extension, but it can be voided after this season, which would make him a free agent. We're joined by 4-time Pro Bowler Antonio Cromartie. Good to have you with us.
Morning. You had a couple of battles with Tom Brady?
Yeah, just a few.
You got him a couple times.
4 times.
Four times. You know stats like he knows.
So you obviously have gone up against Brady so many times. How many more years do you think he will play?
Man, he's bringing the fountain of youth. I'd say another 5 years, to be honest with you.
Whoa.
5?
Uh-oh, that's going to make somebody look real bad across the table.
You don't think so?
No.
How you figure that?
Well, I know you're looking at the way the rules are implemented and they can't protect the quarterback, but I think the deal that the Patriots gave him lets me know that he's on a year-to-year. Coach Belichick is not in the sentimentality. You know that much. Everybody knows that. And when I look at it, it's like, okay, yeah, we gave you $70 million, but we only gave you $8 million to sign. So we don't have the long-term commitment that we have to keep you. You see, Coach Belichick, with the way I'm looking at it, the Patriots are saying, yeah, we could have given you $70 million for 2-year extension and given you $40 million, and you step off a cliff. But also, I think the thing that's in play, Skip, with Tom Brady is his play. As long as he can play at a very high level, and currently he's playing at a high level, I believe he'll want to continue to play. He does not want to be in a situation like what we saw with Peyton. Skip, we saw he played great. That first year, we believe he should have won the MVP.
And Adrian
Peterson won it. And then the next year, he comes back and win it. They go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The third year, they kind of lay an egg. He was 39-15.
His body betrayed him, slowly but surely.
Right. And then we saw he got benched, for lack of a better word. He got benched.
No, he did.
Mark Osweiler. And then he came back in, but we could see
I agree.
He crossed the finish line, and that was it.
Okay.
I don't believe Tom Brady wants that, and he won't allow himself to be in that situation.
Not.
But I believe.
Come on.
The question is, will he play 5 years? Will he play 5 years in New England or play somewhere else?
He's not gonna play nowhere else. He's gonna be in New England.
I give him 20. I say this year it is.
No, come on. He's gonna continue to play at a very high level.
What did you see last year?
What did you see? I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like this. Peyton, he couldn't throw over 30 yards, 30, 40 yards.
Right.
So everything was what? In front of him.
Right.
Right? Brady's 42 years old, still can throw the ball down the field. Armstrong, he can make every single throw at 42 years old.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I watched it.
How did it look?
He looks, come on, man, here we go.
I didn't ask your question.
He still look good to me.
Good, he did no touchdown. Interception.
What that mean?
I'm just saying.
What that mean?
So
you taking one game out of his whole entire career. No, come on.
Did you watch Tennessee game?
Come on. Yeah, I watched the Tennessee game too. He looked bad at Tennessee game.
Okay, what about Detroit?
You know what?
Wait.
All right, stop it now.
Did you watch the Chargers playoff game? You picked the Chargers to win that game at Foxborough. What happened?
He played unbelievable.
Party happened. He threw a party.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Torched.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, what you gonna say?
What happened in overtime at Kansas City?
You
ever seen it?
You see what he did, Crow?
He said overtime.
Okay, you caught on. You caught on.
Okay,
I get it, but I really do believe Brady's going to play another 5 years.
Okay.
He's not going to play for nobody else.
To finish the Super Bowl, who has always been Tom Brady's nemesis other than you playing cornerback? What coordinator, Wade Phillips, has always had Tom's number? He has always done he's done the best job on Brady, anybody. Maybe Rex
Bryan gave him
did
trouble.
pretty well.
We had him seeing ghosts a little bit.
You had him seeing ghosts, but you had some firepower on both corners, right? That helps.
You're right about that.
All right. I don't know if Wade had that much firepower.
Yeah, well, you had Harris Jr. to leave.
That's pretty good.
But he had.
But I'm talking about last year.
Yeah, well, no.
Not like that.
And he only had one rusher that could get to the quarterback. He only had Donald, whereas as opposed to the Broncos having Bond and D. Ware and Malik and Wolf.
Okay, and it's 0-0, and Brady pushes all his chips into the middle of the table and completes 5 straight passes, 29 yards to Gronk to the 1-yard line, and it's basically game over at that point. That was it.
Yeah, that'd be 13 points. That defense was Wade's defense. Well, Wade's defense only gave up 13 points, but Coach Belichick's defense gave up 3. Jared Goff saw ghosts. You talking about the ghosts that you had, Tom Brady? He was terrible. It might have been one of the 3 worst performances in a Super Bowl game in the 52-year history of Super Bowls.
I felt like Belichick was in the room with them.
Okay.
On the sideline.
Yeah. Okay, well, then that's the other side of it. But what happened? It might have been the greatest drive of Tom Brady's career was that fourth quarter drive because he's stifled. He is stymied. He can't get anything to go anywhere until finally he says, you know what? We could split Rex Burkhead out left and make him a wide out, and I'll throw one to him, and it'll open up, and then I'll hit Edelman, and then I'll hit Gronk, and all of a sudden it goes bing, 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 touchdown, ball game. Well, he figured out. He cracked the code.
He's a guy Brady likes to – he likes to empty the backfield, Skip, so he can see better what you're doing. And he knows when you put a walker back over Burkhead or you bring the safety down, he automatically knows it's man coverage. He automatically knows where he's going. And just like when he split him out and he saw, okay, y'all got a backer on Gronk?
It's over.
I'm going to Gronk. Nobody else was getting that ball. Edelman was on the field and all these guys. Gronk one-on-one with a backer, Gronk's getting the ball.
And he did.
Yes, he did.
And he won another Super Bowl, his 6th. And he's saying, I'm onward and upward. He is vowed to play until he's 45. That's Coach Belichick 3 more years.
Stephon Gilmore should have won that MVP, though.
Okay, you can make all the cases you want, but the quarterback, when it was time, he was the money player.
And when it was time, in the first pick of the game, they didn't give up no points and made them punt after 3 plays.
It was good. Belichick owed his team for the 40 he gave up to Nick Foles in the previous Super Bowl.
Okay, what about them 2 he gave? What about Tom Brady owed him for scoring 17 points against the Giants and old Eli?
How many fourth quarters has Tom Brady given Bill Belichick? Even in AFC Championship game against Jacksonville. It was just extraordinary what he pulled off.
Well, you do know they only held him to 3 points for the last 30 minutes of the ball game. That's Coach Belichick's defense.
Okay, all
you
right.
don't want to give him. Skip, why you won't give Coach Belichick any credit?
I give him 25% of the
credit. I don't know about that. I got to give him 75%.
There you go.
75%.
75.
You got to go 75%.
Brady made Belichick.
That's interesting.
No. Belichick made Brady.
No.
It's the other way around.
I thought you were pro-Brady.
I am pro-Brady, but hey, I understand. There you go, pro-telling the truth. That's what you got to do. I'm pro-Brady. I love him.
Me too.
Here's what's happening. Tom Brady is shattering the mold of quarterbacks because he's the first one who said, well, I don't care what history says. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to work harder every offseason because I can do this. Because the rules
Skip, I love it, but this is what I'll give you a prime example. If Brady goes to another team, he's going to be like Nnamdi.
Ooh, well, that's really Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah. When he went to Philly.
Ooh.
He got exposed.
He got exposed.
Okay.
You know? Another thing, Chad Ocho.
Wow,
when he came to New England. It was downhill. I don't see him playing for anybody else. So if it's going to be this last year, it's going to be his last year. He's going to retire this year.
Skip.
I just don't see it.
You want to make sure like Brady's shattering the mold. He's not shattering the mold. The rule changed everything.
Okay, but he knows he can do this at this level at 42, 3, 4, and 5.
And what
Well, he does.
And Drew Brees said the same thing. Drew said, I can literally play another 5 to 7 years. I just don't advertise it. All these guys, Skip, because of the rules that have been implemented where you cannot punish the quarterback. I talked to a lot of quarterbacks on Friday and Saturday, and they said, you know what? Had these rules been implemented, I guarantee you I'd have been playing into my 40s. You can't take that kind of punishment.
Sour grapes, maybe.
That's a good point. It has made a big change.
Yeah, I even talked to your guy Rodgers.
Oh, did you?
You
he
love
is
Rodgers.
My guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You want to talk about clutch closers?
Yeah. Captain comeback.
Oh man, Hail Mary. He invented the Hail Mary.
That was it. That was the first time the term had ever been used.
Okay, but he took off and ran with the football.
Yes.
This guy, he just gets rid of it faster than you can get to him.
Yeah, Roger the Dodger was not. He was not just standing in the pocket. He'd take off.
Definitely.
So this guy's saying, I'm going to work harder every offseason because all I really care about in life, other than my wife and my children, is this.
Yeah.
Because nothing makes me happy. Golf doesn't make me happy.
No,
business it doesn't make me happy.
No.
And you two, if you could turn back the clock or turn forward the clock right now and play right now, you'd play.
No, because
I can turn back. No, I can play right now.
Okay, well, there we go.
He ain't turning back no clock.
I can't turn back because you know what? They still allowed to hit the tight ends and the wide receiver. They still allowed to hit, and I can't take not one hit.
Okay.
I seen him work out with us one time. He ain't turning back no clock.
No.
Wait, what is this about?
I was retired, Skip. This was 2009.
And?
I came to work out. They was up on the hill and flipping tires and pulling sleds.
What is this?
You weren't feeling
It was that here in Cali.
Yeah, in Westlake.
Westlake.
Yeah.
Right on top
And
of
what
the hill.
happened?
Oh, man. He didn't finish.
You got run off the hill?
No, I didn't get run off the hill.
Yes, he did.
I didn't get run off the
Yes,
hill.
you did.
I finished.
No, you didn't. You did not
I
finish.
might have finished last,
Ooh,
but I
really?
finished.
You did not finish.
The truth
Bro,
is
we
coming
got
out.
film.
I got the tape.
I got the tape. We ain't talking about the highlight.
No,
we talking about the real tape where you didn't finish.
No, I finished that workout. Y'all went to the gym and started doing MMA stuff. I was like, I'm going to catch a flight. I'll let you in Freeney. I'll let y'all have another stuff. I ain't had enough, Jim.
Good. This is good. The truth is coming out. I appreciate the honesty.
But see, that's the way they train.
Yeah.
When you train that way, you can do that. See, he brought back that. Ain't know nothing about this, Skip. I ain't know they're going to be doing all this, flipping tires up a hill, pulling sleds up a hill, doing all that other stuff. I said, come on, man.
It's a new thing.
But, you know, I did it. They got me out there. They tried to make me look bad.
All right.
Oh, we made him look bad.
So you could play right here, right now.
I can play right here, right now.
You know what? I buy this guy because a lot of it is just feel and just natural, like God-given.
With the way the passing league is right now, you can play right now.
Yeah.
The only thing you got to know is route combinations.
NFL, you heard it here first.
Boy.
Yeah.
5 more years
Tom
of
Brady
Brady.
playing
That's
one
the
more
thing
year.
I'm going to remember.
5.
That's
You know
the
what?
thing I'm going to remember.
This is the 3rd year you've said he's going to play one more
20.
year.
I said 20, Skip. I'm giving you
did say
20.
you always
Skip, be
said that.
happy. I'm giving you 20.
No,
I'll take
He's
it for
gonna
now.
keep on because he can.
Okay,
guys,
keep it on.
we got to go back to the Cowboys. Are they in big trouble right now? We will discuss next.
No mercy.
So the Cowboys are going to open their wallets for their offensive stars, but just how wide? NFL Network's Jane Slater reports the team has, quote, generous offers on the table for Dak, Amari, and Zeke. that would put each one in the top 5 highest paid at their positions. The report adds the Cowboys are ready and willing to get the deals done, but if they can't agree on the numbers, they are prepared to play this season with each player on a, quote, prove it deal. Antonio Cromartie is still with us. Do you believe all 3 deals will get done?
No, definitely not.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And guess who's going to be the last one? Zeke. He's going to be the last one.
So he's going to stay all season in Cabo?
I mean, if you want to stay all season in Cabo and stay out the lockout year, that's fine with me.
That's interesting to think about.
I don't know what to tell you.
The timing of it.
Yeah. Only time I see a deal getting done if Cowboys go 0-2. Start the season off.
That happened once.
Like we've seen.
You have to get them back in. I mean, at the end of the day, the offense goes through Zeke, no matter how you look at it. Guess who's the bonus player? Amari Cooper. He's the bonus player. But if Amari Cooper's this guy, why bring Jason Witten back? Why have another crutch for him?
Because they don't have a tight end?
I'm not even
the guy just had 3 touchdowns the last game of the season.
You mean Shannon Sharpe?
Yeah,
He's Hall of Fame bound.
But look, now you bring Jason Witten back. That's his crutch. That's his fall-to guy, right? So realistically, I can wait till pay Amari Cooper if I really wanted to.
You could.
For another year.
Well, he's scheduled to make $14 million this year, so he's
there you go. You're
he's
okay.
not unhappy.
But you got Zeke on 2 years. He got 2 years left with Zeke. If you hold out this year, you still own his rights. So he has another year. But that year could be a lockout year. Then they have 2 years with a franchise tag. So what you gonna do?
Well, if he's playing,
what is he gonna do?
If he holds out the whole year, Skip, they still got 4 years of season because he doesn't get on the current seasons, so he still got 4 years. Skip, I just don't see how and you believe they'll get all 3 of these deals done by opening of the season. I don't believe that, Skip. Amari is waiting on Julio and probably A.J. Green because he's like, okay, you want to put me in top 3? Okay, this is what Julio makes. This is what Mike Thomas makes. This is what Odell makes. You want to put me in the top 3? Okay, so be it. This is, 61 million, 58 million, 59 million. Okay, fine. I can live with that. But, Skip, the longer this goes, Stephen Jones has made the mistake. He should have just left well enough alone and just tried to get the thing done behind closed doors. But they keep sending out these signals. We've made fair offers. We've made generous offers. We're not going to reset markets.
I will agree with that point and only that point. I don't love it.
That's it.
I think it just muddies the
right.
water.
Because then you're getting guys telling, okay, this is what this is what you would. No. That's not how negotiations work. Normally, you're like, okay, we're going to keep our side private. You keep your side private, and then we're going to work these things out behind closed doors. But it seems the Cowboys have taken a different approach because they know, Skip, at the end of the day, 99.9 out of 100. Who does the fan side with? The team. Yeah. Always. Because guess what?
I think that's less and less these days.
I don't think it's less and less. And so the longer these deals go, Skip, the greater chance someone comes along and reset another market. What happens if Jared Goff comes along and they redo him? Now what? So now what you thought was going to be top 5 money at, say, $30 million, top 5 money might be at $32, $33 million, Skip. And now with an extra $7 to $10 million guaranteed money. I just don't see how there's no way. It's hard for me to believe. I hate to say no in all and every, but it seems very, very unlikely to me, Skip, is that by the time you guys kick the ball off like Labor Day, you said your scary time, your drop-dead date is Labor Day.
I said I'll start getting anxious on Labor Day.
Well,
that's a long way away.
You anxious right now.
I'm about to say, you're already anxious. You're nervous.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to be sweating bullets.
I'm so cool right now. I got this.
At that point, when they don't get these deals done by Labor Day, that's when you start sleeping on your couch in your dressing room. Because, Ernestine's not going to be want to be around you at that point in time.
I got the Tom Brady of negotiators at the switch right now. I got Jerry Jones doing what he does best. This is his Super Bowl, and he will win it before the year starts on all 3 counts. And my friend Crow says, my Cowboys in trouble, but you're going to be in trouble, and you're going to be in trouble by September 8th because all will be well in Dallas. This team has Super Bowl potential because it is a loaded, on the verge, arriving football team, and especially with the euphoria of getting all 3 deals done to go into the Giants game on September 8th, here we go. It will be a launch, and we still have so far to go. But I got the cap wizard at the controls right now. I got Jerry Jones. And you guys are underestimating how great he is at getting deals done. As he said the other day, don't I always get these done? He always gets them. Yeah. Once upon a time, one year, 1993, he didn't get it done. But what had they just done in 1992? They won the Super Bowl. Right. So there was cachet all around, and everybody was feeling themselves, including the owner. And he was starting to clash with the coach, who he was about to fire a year later after 2 Super Bowls. And Emmett started pushing on Jerry, and Jerry thought he was big, bad Jerry Jones. And I think he learned a lesson. I think they all learned a lesson. It got ugly. It got personal. And I don't think Jerry's going to repeat that mistake this time.
You hope he don't.
You hope he don't.
Well, I just don't think he will, because his window is closing.
His window been closed.
Well, he's still breathing. I'm talking about breathing window. I'm talking about living window.
We ain't talking about that. We talking about Super Bowl window.
We're talking about Super Bowl window.
Yeah, but I believe that quietly behind the scenes, these 3 guys are working together. Because if one takes a discount, what would the other 2 be expected to do?
Take a discount.
Take a discount.
I understand.
And so nobody wants to be that guy that takes the discount.
So they're working together to undercut the whole football team?
No.
They're trying to derail the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm trying to get my... Hold on. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to derail the whole football team by trying to underpay these guys? Are that what you're trying to do?
They'll all get their money.
No.
They might get top dog money.
No, we want top dog money.
They want top dog money.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what's going to happen.
So you're telling
here's
me...
the cap wizard.
Okay, let's go.
He'll take Amari first, and he'll say, look, you're about to make 14, but I got this creative way that I can approach your contract. I can give you your money long term, but we're going to reduce your cap hit the first year, which is this year, which will open up more money for Dak and especially Zeke.
61
That's
mil.
the first one to get done right there.
61 mil guaranteed. That's my
Okay, give me the next one.
Okay, so then you go to Dak Prescott, and again, you give him the going rate. You don't give him top dollar, but you give him you give him $30 million.
No, that ain't the going rate.
Yes, it is.
No.
Kirk Cousins got 28.
No, guaranteed. But Kirk Cousins got that with one division and no playoff wins.
Yeah.
So Dak Prescott.
Oh, so now you're singing his praises. I thought you said he was mediocre.
I'm an agent. I'm an agent.
Oh, now you're an agent.
Yeah, right now, I'm not debating. Right now, I'm an agent. I'm Dak's agent.
How many sides of that mouth are there?
Look, I'm talking from the player's perspective. Now, if you want me to talk from Jerry's perspective, I can do that too. But you seem to be doing a very good job at helping Jerry. And now Zeke.
I have no qualms. I have no concerns.
I've always been told this. And I got told my rookie year in the league by Keenan McCardell. The worst thing he ever did was hold out.
Okay.
Guess why? He lost $1.3 million.
Wow.
Money that you'll never get back.
Right.
Another thing, Le'Veon Bell held out what?
Jacksonville.
Yep. Thing about Le'Veon Bell, he lost what, $16 million last year?
That's crazy.
And did not make.
Okay.
Did he make any of it back?
No.
Yeah,
that's $16 million that you could have added to what you already have right now.
That is wisdom. But you are predicting he's going to miss real games, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
See,
well, I don't.
100%.
The thing is, the reason why it's hard to hold out, Skip, is that even if you hold out, let's just say Le'Veon Bell got $70 million. He still didn't make up for that 16 that he lost.
No, he did not.
But see, he was just like saying, guys, and Steelers, what they do, Skip, is that they give you basically it's a one-year deal. And he's like, I don't want that. That's not the security that I want. I need at least 2. Hopefully, I was trying to get 3. And Zeke knows. Zeke is never getting another big payday after this one.
You're right. It's going to get done because, as Jerry said the other day, in his simple, weird wisdom, he said, when it's good for us and it's good for him, then it's good for both parties. It will just get done.
Yep. I hope
Jerry
finna give out some of his real estate that he got in Texas.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, gonna take some, Skip.
It's gonna take some.
Huh?
Let's see. He wants $54 million guaranteed.
Doing the math?
He wants 61 guaranteed.
Your only hope.
He wants 100 plus. That's $200 million in guaranteed money.
Wishful
lot of
thinking.
money.
It's hysteric, overreaction. It's knee jerk. It's all you got.
No, Skip.
Because you cannot derail this football.
It's not being derailing. It's just talking logical as a football player.
Okay.
Knowing what every person wants.
Okay. All right. Last quick question for Crow. If they're all signed, sealed, and delivered on opening day, how good are the Cowboys?
I go 11-5.
Okay, well, that'll work.
You'll
I'll
take
it?
That?
Yeah.
That's a good
I'll
number.
Take that. That's playoff bound.
You know what? I want them all to be there because I want them. I want them all to be there. So therefore, you won't have an excuse because see, you know, you king excuse.
Oh, now you want
if Zeke was there to start the season, we'd have done this.
Now you're going with the old cliche. We want them at full strength so we can beat them at full strength.
All right. No, well, Antonio, 11-5, you can come back with that kind of answer. Thank you for joining us.
Way to go.
Guys, why is Aaron Rodgers already upset at training camp? Well yes, he's upset already. We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Aaron Rodgers, apparently not a big fan of sharing a practice field with another team. The Packers had joint practices the last 2 days with the Texans, which sparked Rodgers to say, quote, "I wouldn't mind if they didn't do it for another 14 years. We know how important training camp is, not only to our fans, but our local businesses. Unless we're going to California, I'd be bummed out if we had to go to another city." Shannon, do you have a problem with those comments?
If I do, I get it. You know, I really do, Skip. But teams can't do what's only the best interest of the quarterback or Aaron Rodgers. They got to do what's in the best interest of the football team. And LaFleur, the head coach, said that, you know, he enjoyed the joint practices and would do it again. His obligation is to build the best football team he possibly can. And Aaron Rodgers, you have to understand, although you are the focal point, the most valuable player of the team, you're not the team. And so he's trying to build a team. And he feels this is one way in order for him to build the best product he possibly can. I mean, I loved it because I love competing against someone other than the guy that I saw every single day. And I went through, Skip, when I first got into the league, NFL Europe was big. We would go to, you know, play in Japan. We go to Barcelona. And we scrimmaged against the other teams. And then we would end up playing that Saturday. I had no problem with it because, Skip, you know, in practice, Jenny, you talking about talking crazy?
Yeah.
And I was talking out of my mind.
I can only imagine.
Kind of like you do on this show every day.
So, Skip, you know, and I get, you know, one of the Texans cornerbacks got kicked out of practice because he hit somebody and he shouldn't. So, and sometimes these things happen. But I do, Aaron, stop complaining. Everything can't be ideal for Aaron Rodgers. It has to be in the best interest of the football team, and your head coach believes this is one of the things.
That is correct. I'm going to say it again. This guy is something. Your guy, Aaron Rodgers, Lil Wayne's guy, Aaron Rodgers. Can't wait for Wayne to sit right there in about 24 hours, and we're going to kick this subject around, literally and figuratively. So I'm assuming that A-Raj had like a C-Raj kind of performance at practice because he wasn't happy because LaFleur wasn't happy.
Right.
And now he's blaming it on joint practices, but he has the audacity to say, well, unless we're going to California, I don't want to joint practice and go away from Green Bay because he said the Green Bay merchants they thrive on this because we're here for this month or so, whatever it is. Okay.
What do you think about the other places that teams have to go?
Okay.
You don't think? What about their merchants?
Goes both ways.
Okay. So you go back and forth. It's like we scratch your back.
Right.
You scratch us. Okay. Well, but he says it's okay if we want to go to California. So there'd be four teams in California you could go play against. But what would that do for the Green Bay merchants? Just because it's California.
What would that be the best interest of? Aaron Rodgers.
That's correct.
Again, not what's in the best interest of the team. What's in the best interest of me.
I don't get it. And then he flat out calls out his coaching staff because he says he's talking about special teams drills like kickoff drills. They're doing
they go through them.
Okay.
They actually do them.
These joint practices. And he says that I don't think the Players Association is going to like that at all. And he says he's going to make them aware of it.
So he dry snitching.
Oh.
Now he'll complain and a dry snitching.
It's not even dry snitching. It's like wet snitching. You're doing it to the media, right?
Yeah.
You're not doing it by you didn't call your NFL, you didn't just pull your rep aside and tell him who is the rep. It's not Aaron.
I know.
I don't know
who the rep is.
He'd never do that. That's too much work. Right?
They've changed somewhat of the practice, but for the most part, when you scrimmage, you Skip.
Okay.
It would be like a game. Those situations, it's like a game. Do you punt the ball in the game?
Hey.
Do you?
This didn't just start. Teams have been thriving on these joint practices.
Yes.
The first one I was aware of, and maybe you could give me one before this, but 1990, I saw Cowboys Raiders say, because Al Davis, Jerry Jones were connecting, and Jerry sort of idolized Al, so they did 3 days in Thousand Oaks or wherever it was, okay? And it was highly beneficial because it got heated. It was good work for both teams.
I remember. Well, I don't know if before then, but I know when we went to Germany. We scrimmaged against the Dolphins, and they turned up playing them. That's just
what you do.
Yes.
It's been going on for a long time.
We don't even have the season yet, and he's already just not afraid to tell us how he feels. We're going to get some good stuff from him this season. How about LeBron? Are we already seeing a new king?
The king is back.
No mercy.
Time for a final topic of the day. Shams Charania is reporting that LeBron has organized a Lakers mini camp that will take place in Las Vegas in September, right before training camp. The goal is to improve team chemistry on a team that has a number of new pieces, including AD, DeMarcus Cousins, and Danny Green. So, Shannon, what do you make of this little mini camp?
I think I'll go.
I was going to say.
I think I'll go.
You just invited yourself.
Yeah, that's what leaders do.
Do they?
That's what they do.
Take everybody to Vegas.
Yeah, and get that work in.
Have a big guys' night out in Vegas.
See, Skip, I mean, it's easy to show up and go late. Nah, when you do things that's kind of like off the grid, let's go to Vegas. Let's make this thing happen. They say we're going to get 51 wins. We're about to get 56, 58 wins.
Well, maybe Kuzma can get in some early work pushing LeBron out to defend three-point shooters. Do you think? Yeah, he might.
Okay.
Yeah, then you got to get ahead of camp.
Okay.
Reportedly, the Clippers are going to do the same thing, but they're going to go to Miami for their pre-camp camp. It's so wide open, it sounds like all the teams who need to develop new chemistry are all going to have pre-camp camp because everybody is fixated on the fact there's no KD and it's a championship to be won.
And it's not the fact it's just KD. It's KD is not in Golden State.
That's true.
So regardless of if KD was healthy in Brooklyn, they would still be going. It's just that there's no dominant team like Golden State over the last 3-4 years.
I think it makes sense. Maybe we could take the show to Vegas.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.